like right now.
Welcome to Parallel Podcast 868, Trinidad's finest professional, unprofessional podcast with your host, Prez I Am and the God.
Trinidad!
Yeah, it has been a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Parallel Podcast 868, Trinidad's finest. And if I remember to do this thing, boy, I'm your host, Prez I Am. I am Prez for the slow ones. Alongside the God, the alchemist, the Flintstone mother trucker himself. Tell the people of them something. Yeah. Right, and of course, tonight we have two guests with us. I don't want to butcher her name. NASHAKA is here with us.
Good night.
Right? And of course, we would leave the why she's here for later on, and who she is. But we also have Sarah here with us. Sarah, tell the people and something, please.
Hi, bestie.
Yes. The voice will get updated just now. We're working on that. So, we now come out for a beautiful fathers. They big up all the fathers out there, right? Who actually do the damn thing. And as I always say, ladies, don't get all touchy. Don't get touchy. I dare with all you. I wish not every man could break, but it is what it is, right? But they really have guys out there doing the damn thing. I big up myself as one in my own subjective way. Big up the same way, right?
Of course.
So, besides
Pick
that,
up my father too.
correct.
Who
Big up
father?
daddy, right? You see a cell show there already. We wasn't going to get to that, right? But that's small thing. Big him up still wherever he stand. We haven't been here a while, you know. Right, but before we get into the meat, right? We want to start this every Tuesday live thing. So look out for that. We'll start next week Thursday, which is what date? I'm not good at dates.
Next
week. Right? So we're doing this live show, and we're gonna go from there. And I definitely will be getting some strangers to pass through and some artists and all these good stuff. Right? And of course, every show Ding will be wearing something even stranger and better. Right?
That.
How are the ladies feeling? Feeling good?
Relax.
Right. So you realize, Sarah, you had to give it your voice because it wouldn't pick you up. Yeah, see something. What's going on there? Talk again. Something wrong there.
Okay. So forward.
Right. You had to raise your voice.
This is good enough?
Right. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You can't whisper in it because it doesn't. It had to pull. It had to get something to feed off on her, and you're giving it a kind of flirty thing. Right. You had to get in. Right. So tonight we're gonna talk about now. I know I had some topics, but I got a vision, boy. So I was watching this story with a famous comedian, right? You know, he came into the game basically to get his family out of poverty, right? And when he started to get popular, years on years, on the scene. When he really get there, he ended up hiring his half-brother to manage him, basically, right? Long story short, the half-brother robbed him $12 million.
12 million?
$12 million. Right? And that just give me, I say, wow, boy. Family. That's what I want to talk about tonight, boy. Family. They give the goods and the bad of family. And the family dynamics of now and when we were younger. I mean, all of us here are different age brackets, obviously, but you know, I grew up in the time where it was a lot of extended family, and even if it was a situation where it was a mother who raising her own kids, it was her and her mother and her father and everybody, more kind of extension thing, even though it didn't have a man or one involved, where the case may be, right? But now, we have a lot of independent families, we have a lot of single mothers, single fathers living alone. They don't have, you know, is it that you only feel that is a kind of trust situation that people not trusting family again, or we only meeting up for these family reunions and things. We keeping it Other than that, we keeping it distance. What do you think? Where's all your thoughts on that? Anybody could just shoot. Let me shoot. Yeah, keep
Okay,
it
so
rolling. Mhm.
basically you're talking about the metamorphosis of the family dynamic from your time to now.
Right. Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
I think with the rise of technology, it kind of transformed because everything fast. Everything
Right.
fast. The internet fast. They're picking up cultures from the West, wherever, by the snap of your finger.
Mhm.
You know, and that kind of corrupting the household, the extended dynamic. I too grew up in the extended dynamic. I had
Right.
my grandmother, my father, my mother. She, sorry, but my daughter too was raised in somewhat of an extended dynamic, and
Big up
then
she.
we
Yeah.
went into single parentdom.
Mhm.
But I think the evolution, the main factor is other like outside influences. Because we didn't have much outside influence back then to like corrupt the family and that kind of stuff. Now we have so much stuff pulling from so much sources.
Yeah, but back in the days, they used to say it's the village raised it.
Right.
Because if you go out in the road and the streets and thing and neighbors see you misbehave, they will say discipline them now. Now that don't happen. Everybody should actually put their hand in discipline the children. They might get pussy.
Huh?
But Michael call him a cut it down.
Yeah. Are you still there? You go ahead.
Yeah. So in terms of that, I think that could be actually lacking a little bit in terms of people don't really discipline the random child anymore. So probably because of fear and reprisals and stuff. And in terms of the trust issue, boy, I believe as Biggie say, trust somebody, no boy. I love you though. You can love you, no.
Yeah.
But trust,
Yeah. I totally agree with you. And you know, I see circumstances where like you ever have a neighbor and you feel like they go on somewhere for a while and they rather leave the house empty than bring a nephew or a cousin to stay there. That speaks a lot, boy, on how we family not trusting each other again. Because you bring that cousin there and there's problems. Yeah, you might come back and meet some devastation. That real concerning for me, boy. That trust and that love not in the family again.
at least in your story, it was a half brother. That
I
wasn't
have
that
to play
bad, yeah.
devil's advocate with that because long time you used to have a lot of hush culture. Your uncle touch you inappropriately, do talk hush. You know, so people used to keep a lot of secrets for family long time. And
That's still going on.
over
I
the
think.
years,
Yeah.
it started. No, teachers intervening now. But you know, like in the schools, when they see the children acting a certain way, my mom is a teacher, and they literally have to do psychological evaluation on each child now. It changed.
Okay.
So if something is off, they're going to intervene. Social services getting involved. It's changing now. But that's because the hush culture breaking. I know of some friends personally, I wouldn't call their names obviously, but I know of some friends that will tell me, you know, my uncle used to do me this, and I told my mom and she
Like
didn't
Peter,
do anything
like
about
Peter.
it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
hush because the family will look bad, and it had a lot of that long time. And I must say, I'm happy that we've seen a change where the healing happening. It might look shaky, but healing happening. I rather you be taken away from a unpleasant situation and get counseling or whatever than remain there so your family to look good like long time.
Fair enough. And I want to agree with you what you said first with social media and all these things, because I feel like social media brought these fears forward. So now we have families who don't even, probably mightn't even have that trust issue existing, but they're putting up barriers now. Saying, let me don't do that because just in case somebody decide to jump on themselves now. You understand? And it's shitty, but that situation with because that was actually Dane Cook, the comedian, right?
Yeah.
And I say 12 million and his wife was helping him rob his own brother. I find that to be real sad, boy. And I've heard stories of kids robbing their own parents financially and stuff, you know. So I wanna hear soft talk.
Sierra.
I wanna see vibes on this, please.
Well, I think for starters, a big one is conflict of interest. Because, I mean, you have something called generational trauma. Like, it have a lot of ways where your parents did the right thing, but they weren't perfect. And I mean, a lot of parents still believe in corporal punishments. And when you look at the newer generations and newer age parents, they're not hitting the kids.
Yeah.
And I mean, me, I'm not going to hit my kids. And I think that contributes to trauma. And it's like, yes, it takes a village, but at the same time, like, I don't want you to do the wrong things that you did to me, to my kids, you know? So, I mean, I understand to a degree where people would move away from their family. You love them, you trust them, but, you know, you want to be the main influence on your kids. So I get that, but, you know.
But how would you go about disciplining your kids? With a lack of
Without
passion.
hitting them, without beating them, whipping them,
Yeah.
talking to them, explaining to
I
them.
didn't have to whip Sarah for her.
I didn't get licks and I turned out fine.
Some people had the voice of pain or passion. You could
I
talk
did
to your
not have
children
that.
and they will listen.
Did
But
not
not
have
all children taking words, you know.
But I still think is nature versus nurture. I don't think you need to beat kids into submission. I strongly believe if you explain things to your kids, if you raise them right, you're not going to have to beat them. Like, come on, is it massa?
You can have a conversation with your child. I literally did this. I went to this. Look at the result. You can have a conversation with your child when they do something wrong and tell them why it was wrong.
I am confident you'll never face rebellious children. Confident. I grew up amongst a lot of rebellious children and I can't talk. I probably was one as well. You can't talk to me, you know, words into nothing. I confident. And then there's females too, probably grew up in a nice environment.
Yeah.
Grew up in a tough environment.
It could
words
be.
is just
It
words.
could be. the
Exactly. It was a tough environment. So why would you say is the main reason why words wouldn't do anything for you as a child?
Because I didn't want to hear nothing. I already think as a big man I know better. Or I want to experience on my own. My mother would tell me don't do this, but I still want to experience it on myself. I would do it on myself. Like why? If we talk, Alright, so then but she wasn't as adventurous as others. Because when she tell you, probably don't take the sugar, but I want to go somewhere, you know? Different extremes.
And then based on how old you grew up, and then the dynamic to remember, that mother and daughter thing this be a little better than a mother to son. Father, you know what I mean? It's be different. So in little ways, it could be that she felt that, hey, me and my mother so good, I don't want to disappoint her. So that's how the conversation, not me. I had a fear in my kids that I would agree. It wasn't 1,000 licks that brought that. I just brought that fear to be necessary. And I feel that people I tell people, don't tell me how to raise my kids. I wouldn't tell you how to raise yours, right? Every situation is different. And
But
I
at the
believe,
same time too, right? Sorry to cut you off.
yeah. But you cut me off.
Yeah, I did.
I'll
lose the point, right?
Don't lose the point.
I feel like a fear-based way of going about like doing the right thing is wrong. And it very damaging. I don't want to do the right thing because I think somebody would be disappointed in me. I want to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do.
Right. Yeah. No, but I mean these things are there at the end of the day. So it could be okay that you want to do the right thing because you want to do the right thing and you want to make everyone proud. It's probably not your main.
I
and I'm not
never,
saying-
honestly, put any pressure on Zero to be proud.
Definitely.
I always tell her, Mom, you just do your best and do what you want to do and you will. That's it.
Because let me tell you why I feel like fear is necessary, right? Let me go back to this story where these 5 girls beat up this kid, right? That come from whom? Now, if my daughter knew that if she do that, the kind of trouble she'll get into, she would do it, eh?
Yeah.
These kids have no fear of their parents. They have no fear of repercussion.
But you can teach them karma.
Well, true.
I don't think fear of
I
repercussion.
taught mine karma.
Like, I mean, just because, like, say, punishment didn't exist, it don't mean you go and pick up yourself and bully who you want and advantage people. I mean, you should have a moral compass that is taught to you that you're guided.
That's why I say it come from whom? The parents have no moral compass. Because look what they're doing now. Instead of bringing them to justice, they're hiding them. Right?
A good son.
Right? Well, good the daughter now, but
I understand the concept, because thinking about it as a parent of a young adult.
that your daughter
Right?
at the end of the day.
Exactly. It
But-
doesn't. It have nothing she could do that will make me feel any less. So I understand the good son
But
concept
we need to let our children understand that you can do whatever you want. I just always say,
has consequences.
you can do whatever you want in this world, as long as it does not affect somebody else in a damaging physical manner. But you could do what you want. You could stand up by that outside naked, as long as nobody's not dying or it's not affecting anybody like that.
One thing cause harm to others.
Right? Correct.
Well, my
Mom,
line
you
to
know,
her is don't create karma. That's what I was telling her. Don't create any karma.
So, let me ask a question to everybody. Do you believe that family should always be put first or come first, even though, and I hate this word, they're toxic? So yeah,
No.
No.
Wow.
That's like the phrase, blood thicker than water. I believe in that.
That is like the phrase.
No.
Happy.
Also no.
That like the phrase. Happy wife, happy life.
I don't think you need to destroy yourself to keep somebody else happy.
Nah.
To me,
No.
family is how persons treat you and you respect they give you. Yes.
Correct.
I don't limit it to bloodline. I won't limit it to bloodline.
We are chosen family too.
You understand?
Yeah.
Each relationship is an exchange. Whether, however you want to think of it, whether you want to look at it as use, each relationship is an exchange. I provide something for you, you provide something for me. Whether we family, friends, it does not matter.
Yeah.
And it based on the level of exchange, that is how you will interact with your family, interact with your friends, interact with whoever. And that is the level of closeness, bonding, love. However, it is every dynamic different. My family no love. So I will be appalled if I hear the story with the 12 million being stolen. I will be appalled by those things because I only know love. But I don't know the dynamic of that family. Who knows what happened when they were younger? Maybe he was bullied by his older brother. Who knows the story, but how it goes? And we have to have compassion for everybody in this situation because they don't know the story. But because I was governed by love, I could have a judgment. But somebody who wasn't governed by love could say, it go take it, die brother. Because their dynamic different, according to Sarah, their moral compass different.
Yeah.
And if I was in a position to create opportunities, like in a say millennium or something, I could create employment opportunities, for example, I would prefer not to do business with my family and do it with strangers. Because with family, it comes entitlement issues. And the job wouldn't get done as it should get done. They would think that, hey, it's family.
Because at the end of the day,
Yeah,
they're
you
not
could
going
do
to get
this.
fired.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
not going to get
Yeah,
pushed
son.
out. Yeah.
And as I always say, I prefer lose friends or family than use business when saying business. Business is business, family is family, friends is friends. When you try to commingle the both, you're prepared to lose one eventually.
I mean, you could deal business with family, but I think you had to keep it real direct. Listen, I'm giving you this, and that is it.
Yeah.
No kind of means for anything else coming about, and no, but I thought we would have do this. Nah.
You have to put a disclaimer.
Yeah,
before.
one time. Let me
Yeah,
let
upon
me lay
disclaimer.
everything out. When I gave us 10,000 to start this, and it failed,
Yeah.
that is on you, bro. Right?
So then, when they give and they give, you keep on getting sucker and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like you can't be like a Jesus, you can't sacrifice yourself for other people. At the end of the day, you give yes because you love them, there's your family, even your friends. But at the same time, you have to know when doing this thing is a disservice to you more than it's a service to somebody else,
Correct. And me as a help, I should say, I prefer give opportunities than cash in hand. I prefer give guidance, knowledge, experience, anything than just give money.
And
Give a man a
teach me to
fish.
fish.
But let we face the reality. People don't want that. They don't ever see the journey. They want the now. They say, but I hear you know, but
Especially now with technology where you can
Yeah,
get
but
everything now.
Who choice it is?
Exactly like them.
hey, you might tell a man, I want to teach you how to fish so you can make money. Go and tell her, think I don't really like to fish, you know.
But then I see
Right?
yours.
Well, at the end of the day, it's
I
how
see
bad you
yours,
want it. If you want it, you will learn. If you don't, you wouldn't.
No,
Simple.
but yeah, that's just the reality. I just telling all, yeah.
Exactly.
If
If I could bring it to the water, I can't make you drink.
I mean, you can't tell me it's our family members who, let me just say, you work in government, you work in, when government workers get back paid, that just be all over the news. And you have some family members saying on home, they gonna harass that. Them know you get your back pay. And you ain't send 100 for them, but
Or all I do, they want money borrow. But they never get back pay, you know. All I see they I need and wants.
Entitlement.
Some of them spending their money for you.
Yeah.
With budget.
Entitlement is serious.
so which was actually next question. Why does money mash up families?
The love
Because
of money,
is
the greed.
everything in this
Most people,
capitalistic
Money is
world.
simply a tool.
That's
they worship
It's just
money
a
as a
tool.
god. And that's the issue.
At the end of the day,
It's night.
in my humble opinion, we need to take accountability, right? Money is not the issue. We are the issue. Right? People that say money is you don't even know. It's what people do with money. Yeah. People is the problem.
Then too, like, well, for me, I would say money is power, and the more money I have is kind of like the more things that you do. That's when you see when like families in Trinidad that have real money and real business, when bacchanal happen between them, it is be very drastic because they have the money to make it that drastic. They have the power to do that, the influence, you know.
Oh, so it's like, okay, if I could get money, I could be like this person or that person. However,
And that's why I would say, I mean, I'm not the greatest, I'm not the Minister of Finance, but to me, the people in the world who are wealthy, generational wealth, no matter who in talking to who, they have this understanding that this money stays here, right?
But I feel like if you think about it, right, everybody family have problems. Now,
Everybody.
think of your family problems, and if everybody was rich, how would that turn out?
True.
Especially the drama and the arguments and
Do you think we can grow out family, or you feel like
yes.
no matter what
of
happens,
course you could grow out from.
like my brother, I had to talk to him. Let me answer first. No, it don't work so. It don't work so.
You could outgrow anybody, any
What
environment.
I would say is I would not see you fall down and don't pick you up. But I would just remind you is, you remember we ain't talking, bro? Yeah, and press. But I'm not gonna leave you on the floor. Right? I ain't gonna leave you suffering. But I just letting you know that distance better for us than trying to keep this thing because you don't understand that, you know?
It have a lot of family, I don't know. Plenty cousins, second cousins and stuff. I can admit that. But I'm not the type to not talk to a family member. Well, on the whole, I'm not the type to talk to anybody on the whole. So you could have a grudge with me and that cool, but I cool. I always say that. There's no I cool. I don't be vexed with people.
Yeah.
But I just don't know a lot of my family.
Same here. And if I rest you, it's for a good reason. And again, I just always say, when I rest you, it's really for you. It's not really for me. I know the kind of cunt is.
Fair.
You see one too. Right? Blood relatives and chosen family. Some people I feel have more chosen family than blood relatives. People who you meet and they just treat you like a sister, they treat you like a brother. And they have no blood relationship at all. Well, they feel that exists more right now.
Probably.
No, I closer to family than outside influence.
In terms of media and social and stuff, it's hardly see family really being the besties and the rocking partners and
there's
you know,
yeah.
it's just be a random.
And it's
It's
so
a ride or
easy
die.
to like relate to people, to find communities of people. Like, for example, like somebody who gay or something and their family don't accept that. They could easily find a community that will accept them.
Yeah.
You know?
And even in certain households, you'll see you have brothers and sisters, but they're not close in the same house.
Yeah,
Or, you know what I
yeah.
mean? They say a partner, a friend on the outside who they're much closer with to talk to and stuff.
It's really easy. And then too, like the reason why back in time most people would be the closest with their family is because they with their family every day. They're talking to them every day. But now you have social media, you could talk to anybody every day.
Yeah.
So, you know, the
Plenty options.
relationships.
Yeah, plenty options too.
Yeah.
literally change the dynamic of the family.
It'll be easy. Stop rubbing each other though. That
Please.
story hit me. That I was like, hey boy.
And stop fighting for
Whatever
that.
lessons had to be learned there, I hope they will.
What about in the animal kingdom? In terms of families, you see, for example, dogs is make pups and the father is stray and go anyway. Turtles is lay egg and is lead the children to survive on the own, you know?
Yeah.
But it
And
have
some fishes.
it have animal kingdoms with the family dynamic. Foxes. A fox
Yeah.
could
Kitten,
stay with
kitten
his
just stays with the
family.
little ones until they grow old enough. So
Lions
even
and
in the
tigers
animal
and-
kingdom, you can see the difference. It varies a lot.
But I feel like it does.
Even our birds, some birds just throw the young ones off the tree, hoping they fly. And some of them just die and thing. That's love.
Selection.
Animals are sexual transmitted diseases.
Nah, doubt. Yeah. Most of the thing is man-made, I believe,
Agreed.
in humans.
Or sometimes. Anyway.
What about spiritual family, if I believe in that?
Yes.
Definitely.
Like, and then too, you could also attribute that to soulmates and twin flames. Like,
Kindred spirits.
these are people, sometimes they could be in your family, but sometimes you could meet them and it's just this intense connection.
I think the only thing with family that definite is that are the same DNA, so are the same kind of attributes, but at the same time, I could be sharing the same trauma.
Yes.
So it's a pro and a con. But I think it's only tied to family, you know, the director. Apart from that, everybody could be family to me. You know what I mean? Once I enough respect, loyalty, trust, whatever cases, I consider your family.
I know they feel like that loyalty in family is automatic, or you feel like your cousin had to earn your loyalty.
To me, it should be automatic based on probably some kind of moral compass or social norm. It should be, but in this time, nah, but
I feel like it's just easier. Like, it would be easier for me to build a relationship with my cousin as opposed to somebody I meet that
it
day,
should
you
be.
know?
Especially somebody you seen often, especially if you
Yeah.
seen them frequently, it should be. But with
Should.
jealousy and all these weak emotions.
Animosity.
That's something like I felt like it's different now. Because when I was going to school, Eldo, big up Eldo, and you had two cousins going to the same school, you couldn't touch one of them.
Yeah, that
The
bestie.
next one,
Come in.
destroying. Yeah, they don't care who it is. They run it. And even with obviously brother and sister, brother and brother, but cousins, boy, there could be pumpkin vine. I meet you last week. They're not having it. No, your cousin taking your man.
And I always wonder, I have some friends and they all had the brothers and sisters living in the same house. And they would be like, I'm not talking to he. And that'll be going on for months. Like, how? Like I don't know. I know there's something wrong with me. How? 3 months, 4 months. Nah, me and he talking.
Same house, eh?
Nah,
Same
when she
house.
walk in, you may leave.
Same
Get
house.
us out.
Yeah, that crazy.
I
But
can understand that.
again, the persons,
Mm.
Is the persons, yeah. Is the persons. We might sit down here and say, yeah, we're not doing that. Somebody else might be different.
So how would you deal with a situation like that? Say in a household and you just can't stand someone, your brother, for example.
NASHAKA
Say
at
he
all,
just,
yeah.
I mean, people different here.
Yeah.
So what will be your resolution policy? Like what you put in place to get things going, make things better? Say he's a thief, and you keep thieving your stuff, putting on your deodorant,
Beat him up.
spraying your perfume, thieving your $10. Say he just annoying you.
Fight.
Say he just annoying you. How you go solve a situation like that?
I feel like Karma might have to play a little game there, right? Because he different things that I might have unlike, right? So I am definitely feeling like it has things he might like too now.
So it's a revenge thing or
It's a putting the feeling and how I feeling when you rub from me, giving you back that. Because I feel like you don't understand. Remember, it has some people who think that, hey,
you have more
I
probably.
have, and time of brother, we gain on so forth. Right? So then let me infringe on your
personal space.
Yeah. And then see how it is feel. Because trust me, most people like that, when you do that to them, you just see a complete 360.
But say it's a financial gap, right? You probably more mature, working, have more stuff. He must be young, right?
Right?
And you have a lot to lose. He probably don't have nothing to lose, period. Probably you could see what matters most to him. And he
he'll
might
be like,
agree, you know, but still, he gaining more,
yeah.
stealing from you still. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I don't think it will stop in a situation like that. So now, I think our next plan, how to solve that problem.
No, well, I guess after that will be just to isolate my stuff. You know what I mean? I ain't seen that I would just not talk to him, but I had to isolate my stuff. I had to create a situation where he can't get to the things or move for the sake of
I see.
if this because sometimes I can't depend on he making a change. I had to make it. So it's either I isolate myself, lock my room, do all these kind of things, or I say it's time to leave.
But I feel like it's situational too. Like if it's just my little sister, she in school, I working, I making money. I be like, that's 100, buy a Pennywise stuff, leave mine alone. If you're still touching it, fight it.
All right, you want to fight?
You will get next.
I don't have any younger siblings, but if that was me, I would let them give them a little small job. Okay, if you clean my car for me, I'll give you 200 or I'll give you the shoes or whatever. Don't teach my thing. Earn it.
If they're willing to work for it.
But if they're not willing, then I'll move. I will try.
Usually though, I mean the loss of whatever is the allowance they're getting from you might be worth it. You know, I mean, she give a med, so I wouldn't take from she. And if I take from she wouldn't get med. So I guess if
was the money more, more than
I think challenges like these, what I just described, is probably purposely coming to your life for growth. Yeah, for growth. So either you solve a problem or you move out, which is still solving a problem, which will still make you stronger in the long run. You understand what I'm saying? You know, some people just have to pester you, to test you, to provoke you and stuff, and you have to figure out how to solve that issue. I had family before I go. Me and my brother was kind of close. You see now.
Rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace. We used to prank each other right through. Very prank.
Tell each other all your cute and thing.
Nah. We prank was, I'm getting one, and I never get back to him on this one.
Yeah.
So, here comes. We was going to fridge and tea food. No, you know my thing, right? At time, he give me a cup. But come, taste this. Put it on the fridge.
Don't tell me.
I drink it. I'm pissing in a cup and make me drink it. So, then you can use a prank. And then you can have pranks to do. Yeah, that one hot me. So I can catch that one. I never get back for that.
I hot you literally, eh? Wait.
Oh, he tell it was pee.
Yeah, either I find out, you make me taste it. Sometimes they put more in the fridge. Going back with later, it's water. I tell you more in it. Them kind of pranks now. You drink a thing, put it back with water. No,
yeah, nah. Yeah,
all them kind of pranks.
I do that.
And you vex and them laughing. Huh? No. That problem never solved. That was a prank, so we used to try and get back. I used to try and get back at him. So I would try and pull a prank on him. So as much as I was angered at the time, emotionally distressed because I was really craving my Moby.
Correct.
Yeah, but it just get over fast, and then I look at the next prank.
Is what it
But I
is.
feel there's discipline dynamic in that case.
Yeah.
That fun. But P boy, I would not do my brother that. Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah, that I might have make something to simulate P, but not gear the, you know what I mean? And tell everybody we brothers, boy. Yeah?
Yeah, nothing.
I feel like that'd be fight for me, yes? Yeah, I'll fuck you up. I tell you there. So let me ask mother and daughter a question here now, right? So let me just say, right? Because we're talking about going into the next topic here. Let me just say your mother was married, right? And you're her daughter. But she was cheated on your father, you tell him? Aha! No, it's not fetus.
Where your loyalty stand.
Correct.
Knowing me, I probably would have said by accident. Like, I would have just come out because I can't lie one and I'm very blunt. So I would accidentally out. Most likely.
To me, truth is truth, yes. If mama and shit, she and shit. If pops and shit, he and shit.
Or just let me get vexed once.
I wouldn't.
That coming out.
I wouldn't get involved though. If I see it happening, for example, I'll leave it as it is.
If I see it
that's not my
happening.
problem to solve.
But like if I see it happen and you wanted me to see, because I mean,
Yeah. No, if it come up in a situation, I have
that
to
mean you
divulge it,
comfortable
I
in
would.
this.
I would just go and volunteer just so to
Yeah.
either party and say, you know.
Yeah, that's it. Like if
so-
I would tell if it come out, you know, it's not something that are going on very deep down.
Sarah would
and-
tell.
Yeah. Big up Sarah.
Daddy, look, mommy, you have a man. He coming here.
And
He
then
lie down on the
too,
bed.
wrong
Sarah
is
would tell.
wrong and right is right. I mean, it's my mother, but I don't mean I had a life for she. Because she wrong. She wrong.
Yeah, but what if she could be right by getting a better man for you?
Well then, that's fine. But you don't have a horn. Leave him and go and get the next man.
No, it's not holding. No matter when you go and buy a shoe, you just go with a shoe on your foot to get a new shoe. And when you get a new one, then you change your old one.
I like that. But
So which one is the shoe in this analogy?
Well, the old shoe is the one she holding, and she looking for a new shoe right now. That's she shopping.
so I asked that because I was gonna ask about I was gonna speak about family, keep secrets and thing, right?
I would not
You know?
put that heavy burden on my daughter
So
to
like
start
if
with.
even if like let me just say you had a boyfriend and he used to hit you and your father put him under the ground. You keeping that secret?
Yes.
Like,
I mean, who are going to tell the police?
Because at the end of the day, my father killed a man on behalf of me.
Correct, yeah.
No, but
So
who would I tell though?
both of we going in jail.
I mean, in that situation,
So it has
like,
some people moral compass.
I ain't going to call the
No
police.
matter what. You know what I mean? It has some people, let me say for example, it has some people that might have a son or daughter in crime. They ain't selling them out like their child. Not it has some parents. Oh, you're doing that?
yeah. It's-
911
consequences.
immediately, yeah. Them not on that.
What about those parents, especially moms, that have a major influence in their children,
Relationships.
relationship?
Yeah.
Like
like-
monster-in-law type vibes.
Yeah. Telling you who man to choose and
Very
who not.
distasteful.
And they try influence what man to choose and what.
Who are the man, me or them?
I
It's the first thing they ask.
as small, my parents could not tell me nothing about my personal relationship. I think I was stubborn from young. Nothing. But you know, some of them, even if their parents influencing you, they always feel that to live up to their expectations kind of vibes, you know?
Yeah.
So they'll decide this and that one looking so, or that one.
I didn't really have that kind of parents. Well, she obviously know my parents, her grandparents. My parents were real cool. Yeah, obviously, right? My parents were real cool.
Check Sarah.
Like real cool. My
Big up.
father, basically like a shaman, just spiritual and my parents were real cool. So
Yeah, man. Big up them.
Big up them one time.
Yeah.
my parents were real cool. So I don't know about those things about helicopter parents, and I was always free to be myself and express.
First time I ever hear that too. Helicopter parent.
Me I know.
Helicopter parents like helicoptering in the children life, that micromanaging every single thing.
And then, like, it's really a foreign concept for me now to put myself in the shoes of someone with a helicopter parent because, I mean, I just not gonna listen. Like, why you trying to control me and my life? I just not gonna listen to it.
No. And like my son, I just tell my son, I would come and give him some advice, but I would tell him, I don't force my son to do nothing. If he wants to sit down and scratch his stones whole day, he can do that. I can tell him that's not wise. You're young now, do things, try not to make the same mistakes I made, but I am not going to force him to do anything he doesn't want to do.
Strict parents is just create good liars. That's it.
I think, my perspective at least, good parenting is creating an influence and not using words more or less. Be the person you want your son to be. You understand? And not just tell him do this or do that. If you
Yeah.
are straight or you're a professional, you're a businessman, wherever, he should want to inspire. He should be inspired to be like you by your actions and by your deeds. You understand? You have to be the influence naturally.
Correct.
Because you
is
could
right.
tell your children this and that and this and that, and they will still look at you as a parent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, rather than.
Not practicing what you preach. Clearly not going to listen.
So you all feel like in the Caribbean, we are more taught to love our family or tolerate them.
I
Out of
mean, with
wonder.
love, it comes toleration to an extent.
Yeah.
Then families different by races and by locations,
And
Yeah.
cultural background.
and culture, yeah. So that is a tough one. There's some families is tough love, tough love. Then there's some families is real passionate,
And that's some
considerate.
families have too much love.
Yeah, too much
Yeah,
love.
too much, yeah.
Yeah.
Too much.
I believe in a mix there, though. It must have a little tough love, but must have love still.
I mean, I
I
think
believe honesty and vulnerability is the two most important things. Because from my experience being a parent, being vulnerable with Sarah and telling her my feels and my misfortunes in school and what happened to me, just being open.
Sarah,
and being
sorry,
honored.
you had to hear that. Yes.
It permit her. It permit her to do the same.
Yeah.
Till I and all like, oh my gosh, she coming again. You know, like I and all get fed up. Because she
And I-
always coming, mommy, this, that, mommy, you know this, mommy. I was like, oh my god, I created a monster. But
And
being
most-
vulnerable with them, it works.
Most
Yeah.
times, I think parents really try to prevent their children from making mistakes they know about or they experience.
But that's a
or-
trauma. If
Eh?
you're not healed, it's a
That
trauma that you're
is
passing
because
down.
if you know, based on experience, your child, like with this one, and you see the signs, this child could be a mischievous, child, whatever. Because you experience, right? You would try and tell your child certain things to prevent these things from happening because you are aware what can happen. But the child ain't gonna hear that because the child know better. The child could be stubborn, he could be wherever
at
it
the same
is.
time, like, I feel harmless things like that, you should just let them experience it. You could give them
That's it.
advice.
Some childs have to
Yeah, you
burn
know.
to learn. Some people have to burn to learn. You know. Some people have to burn to
Yeah,
learn.
don't touch the socket. Okay, you touch it still, you get shocked. That's all. Like,
That's it.
you ain't gonna die, you'll just learn.
And that is children curiosity. Most people, I think,
I feel like for me, because I definitely did that with my son, don't touch his socket, but I just let him touch it. But I think for me, with my kids, I would tell my son, I wouldn't tell him don't talk to the person. I would give him an example that may lead to things looking like again crazy. I'd say, hey, that person thing, but that your friend, I think. But if you find it going this way, just kind of pay attention. But I wouldn't try to sway him from not being the person's friend, but at least look for the sign and symptoms rather than.
But like attracts like, eh? So playing devil's advocate. If you see your child lying with a certain crowd, guess who just like that crowd?
Like
Yeah.
when,
Your child. So
when
you
the
have
group-
to do the background checks now. You can't just blame other people trying you a bad influence. I'm like, suppose your child is a bad influence.
Exactly.
You never could
The
tell.
whole time the child is the ringleader. But you think the friend is the bad influence on them.
Watch yours.
Whole time is them idea.
yeah, but I think experience build character. For example, the more struggle you go through, the stronger it's supposed to be. The more experience, the more you know.
Yeah.
So some children need to go through their own shit to really get a growth.
I
But
definitely
if you
would.
just warn your child and stop your child and don't try to go out and don't try to do this, and you can't learn street life or basic survival. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That could be a weak child you're bringing up. So yeah, I know where to draw the line, per se.
Tell them everybody love them.
Yeah.
I feel like it could still link back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you won't rate us out there.
It can still link back to the whole idea of like will attract like. I mean, if your child need to learn this lesson in their life, they ain't getting the advice from you. They will meet somebody who will teach them that lesson. That's just the way the universes work.
Yeah. But
So when will it be too late? When you murder someone, like in an instance like that? Say your child really curious and want to go online on the streets and be a bad boy and thing. When you think he will learn this lesson? when it ain't too deep, like when he already do, you know what I mean? If he commit a crime or
And well, at the end of the day, right, what you could do to intervene that, what you could do to stop that, if you do everything in your power and this child's still in that life, what else you could do again?
Just destined. That is
Darling, you could do again.
and that is my point I bring earlier about rebellious children. I experience a lot of that. Some people, no matter how you talk to them, they still have to burn to learn. And sometimes when they do learn, it's kind of late. You know,
Yeah,
might be a
yeah,
jail
yeah.
time. It might be. I mean, in jail time could be a lesson too. Depends how long in jail.
And then environment plays a factor in it as well. If you have a rebellious child in Westmoreland and you have a rebellious child in Laventille, they're going to come out different.
True. That plenty Westmoreland sure and want to go Laventille and live their life, yeah? What a really bad boy experience, yeah?
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Calling every plug they see.
Yeah. Like some people just like racket, for example. I know some panels, life good, you know, but them just want to do racket.
Just showing a little bit, and there's something I want to touch on another show, right? People just talk about why people just go into that bad boy life, right? Because it's tricky. You gotta watch your back all the time. My friend. But on the flip side of that, walking the streets and getting that kind of respect them fellas is getting all these and the love that them gangs is have and things. That is very absorbing. People don't understand that. The
It's easy to
and
get into it, it's hard to come out of it.
when you pull up, everybody know your name and everybody taking and men doing things for you and things. People don't understand
feel
how
seen,
absorbing
you
that
feel
is.
Peer
hurt.
pressure.
Yeah.
It's like a family of its own.
Correct.
And it's trendy to be a gangster these days.
Shitty, but and then you're getting attention, you know what I mean?
But some people is getting into that gangster life blindly, you know, and single parent homes. Like if you see a single parent, you have a 12-year-old son or whatever, and you have your drug, whatever, block, whatever, and the child pass, and I say, oh, carry that bag for this man, I'll give you $100. He don't know better, he'll do it. And just like that, you're roping him.
And all of a sudden, he's the errand boy.
Exactly. That's what some of them is get roping like that blindly.
Roti and solo.
Yeah.
And you see he hungry, mother have one work, she could barely pay the rent. You see the child hungry, so you're working on that. Come, I go buy you what you want.
Get that
KFC?
from the neighbor and
Or
I'll
buy
buy a
KFC,
double.
yeah, or buy KFC for you. He will do it. He hungry. That's what does rope them in.
So you think a single parent household compared to dual parents has a part to play in the child's influence?
Yes.
In a lot of instances, for example, financially, if you have one income as opposed to two, you will have more money.
True. So you think that a father figure is always required in a household? That father figure.
I
that
would not
stern
say
voice,
that. I would not say a father figure because of the dynamics we have these days. You know, you have same-sex homes now.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say a father figure, but I would say the energy. Like you must have these, the masculine energy, the feminine energy. So nurture, because the feminine energy nurtures the masculine sex. That
And,
kind of dynamic.
I mean, as well, it's very healthy for your parent to have someone to share the burden of being a parent. Being a parent, it's a lot. And for you to carry that by yourself, you're going to be stressed, you're going to be frustrated. Sometimes you might be broke, you need more money, you know, all these things. And not ironically, but unintentionally, you can take that also on your kids. It have some mothers, the man leave them, the child father leave them, and they want their son to act like the man of the house.
True.
And that's trauma on the child at the end of the day.
And
Wow.
it has some children, men, growing up with a single mom. I think they don't give her the same respect they will give the father.
Correct.
You
They
know,
don't
so they
respect
must
her.
look at her as a feminine, probably weaker, probably less. I don't know. You know what I mean? Whereas a father, it would be a much more stern relationship, a much more challenge.
Fair.
There's some people could talk back to their mom, but you can't talk back to their father. You know, that kind of relationship.
And at the same time, like especially like, for example, we say, you know, Indian woman, more submissive, right? Like we say she's a single
up them.
parent. She have a son. She going to treat the son like the man of the house. And of course he not going to respect her because he feeling like he have more say than her. Like he over her, basically. Even like in an instance where the father die, the oldest son will take up that mantle and he'll see it happening.
He's not
What's
the
that dad
protector.
story? Basically.
He not feel like the protector.
Yeah, exactly. Because when the masculine energy missing and it's just the mother, the next in line going to step up because that's the dynamic that was present in the household.
I don't think all the time it is be Like for me, because my father passed when I was 13. But I can tell you how much times I cuss in front of my mother on one hand, right? So I think it could be where the state of the whole family or the relationship with the parents was before somebody left, that you would now consider that so.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Yes, I saw my mom and dad quarrel, but there was no violence, there was no disrespect, there was no loud up. So I definitely didn't feel like I was gonna continue that. Me talking to my mother like that would be a no, right? But again, if you're in a household where you seeing your father telling your mother she's a cunt, 9 out of 10 times she gonna be a mother cunt. No. So I guess it all plays on that too. And besides the outdoors and remember other people, your kids being around and kind of
Outside
pushing them
influence.
to say, boy, we in charge, mother, and them thing, and I didn't know when it was a thing to disrespect your parents. I didn't know, as the Bible says, honor your mother and your father, but
I never disrespected my parents, but I was guilty answering back. Because I used to question everything. They'll say, don't do this. And I'll ask them why I can't.
I'm
And
not going to
was-
say that.
that was
I'm not going to
answer
say you
back.
looking like a white man.
Yeah, that was the answer back to them.
And that's the
You understand?
thing.
Yeah.
I was just so
curious,
too.
I do.
Everything,
I was curious.
everything you tell me to do, I want to know why I have to do it.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
is the reason? Do this because
when
what?
my son was 5, I told him it have 2 words he cannot use: no and why.
I will never listen. If somebody
Right.
just give me an order and tell me do it, I'm not
Yeah, I know
listening.
why. Yeah, I know why. Yeah.
Tell me why. Why am
There's
I
some
doing
reason
this?
behind it.
Am I a robot? Come on.
And in that point, the car dies answer back. Do it's my house, do ask nothing. I say do this, don't do this.
And that's why I say, thank God I had the mother I had. Because if I had strict parents, I was going to run away. I wasn't listening. I was going to do what I want. I was going to be cussing them out. I don't care. Like, because I'm not going to respect you because I don't feel like you respect me. If you respected me, then you would have the courtesy to answer my question. It's not that hard to do.
I don't know if I ever tell this. I lock off people for that. Like lying, like I say I lying with a group of friends and we lying by the person and the person and the mother fall out and they said I cussed the mother. I said,
Yeah,
nah,
I can't see that. I can't see that.
This person can't be my friend.
Respect is respect.
Yeah,
If you're disrespecting your
Two
mother,
things-
so how you could talk to me?
yeah.
I never criticized my
so
parents.
Two things I use lock off people for. You see that? And you see guy give it tell me, boy, my girl tell me then she a coughing she fit. I said, oh, you did that? Oh, okay. Block. Yeah, I know them kind of people wrong me. I cool.
What
Yeah,
he's saying, I don't follow what he's saying. But if he ain't beat me, he ain't love me.
I don't know if you go there.
Well, yeah, well, I love you too.
Wait,
you know.
wait.
I beat in your
Unrelated
back and going to that.
question for Prezi, right?
I'm listening.
If your friend cheating, would you see that as a reason to have distrust in them? Or would you view them the same?
What do you mean? Like if I have a brethren and he cheated, yeah?
Yeah.
No.
So don't my business. Every them
Oh.
the same. Any idea? I think we should all be realists. We know we have a virgin. Chances are we know he might cheat, we know he might do this. Like I know my virgins, right? I know who want thief from me, who will track my girl, I know who will try and plug me in my back. You should know your friends at least.
Yeah.
So that's part and parcel of the relationship. I think you should expect from certain partners that I met, you know?
Exactly. I feel like I would take that as a mental note on the person. I'll be like, okay, I can't trust you. Because if your partner, you wanting your wife, the person you with every day, well, you could do me. You know?
See, again, what you're saying, eh?
Yeah, but that's
But-
brotherly love and that
Yeah.
kind of
It's
different.
according to the relationship they have with the person.
Yeah. And then cheating, that is a whole other dynamic by itself because it have people who just cheat like finding $100 on the ground.
Mm.
You just see it there and you're like, okay, nobody not see it, and you take it. And then it have people is go out and look for cheating. Different dynamics of
Okay,
them thing,
understandable.
right?
Understandable.
So, you know what I mean? You can't get vexed with that brother if he find $100 on the ground. Right? But if he going out and doing it, or he just,
It's how we cheating.
But
correct.
why saying
Different
that
rules.
is still his personal life?
Yeah,
That is
true.
his relationship with
Yeah.
his girl or his wife. That is not my
think-
relationship.
I think it will get crazy if every time he do it, I get involved. Like,
Influence.
You girl calling you.
Or even blame,
I get involved, and that could be an issue because You know, like every time he leave the house, he wife.
No, you in the bacchanal.
Yeah, but other
He
than
was
that,
you.
other than that, nobody can tell me I make them man cheat. Nah, your man is not a child.
You carrying him out.
Yeah.
So what?
You carrying him out to
so
meet
what?
girl.
I know too. Yeah, but mine is
She vexed.
That ain't nothing.
Bad influence again.
Next question. Since everything is perspective, right? I mean, parenting is perspective, right?
Correct.
It have anything such as good and bad parents? Because you could raise a child one way and you could raise a child one way. Who's to determine which is the good parent and the bad parent? Or who doing the good parenting or the bad parenting? Because in your eyes, you raising a child you think is right. You can have a child lock up in the house all day, 3 times a month. And some people find that is torture or imprisonment. But for you, you think that is the right thing to do. Whereas she giving her child liberty. That's what I'm saying. So it's perspective, right? So you're thinking parenting on the whole. What would you consider a good parent?
I feel like it's not black and white. As the one person without a child here, right? I feel like it's right. I feel like it's not black and white. I think being a good person would make you a good parent, and even if you're a good parent, it doesn't mean you can't do bad things, right? It's very gray, to be honest. And I mean, you need to know your child. Some children want to be locked up in the house all day. Some children want to go out. It depends. And
Being a good parent is literally just knowing your child, learning your child as an individual. Just because you make them means
Correct.
you know them or they are
you
an
own them.
extension to you. They're
So,
a totally different person.
Back to the
Learn them.
rebellious children. If you do your best to be a good parent in your own perspective, but your child is still very rebellious, is the one doing the crime and thing, would you think you are a good parent still? Or would you say no?
I would feel guilty, honestly. But I wouldn't feel guilty for me. I would feel guilty because, but yes, it would be for me. Because I would think I fail you as a parent and I have you going through this now and I should have done better. I literally would blame myself. Knowing me, I would blame myself. I would say if I did better, you may have been in a better situation. I would blame me. But like I said,
And
it's
it
back
had
to
to have
knowing
a
your
reason
child.
too
You have to
as
know your
well.
child.
I would say that I am a good parent to my children. I wouldn't say I'm a good parent generally. Right? I would think my situation will be different, right? And just to touch on what you're talking about the rebellious children, for the most part, in my experience, people who I wouldn't use the word rebellious, but like, you ever see like a parent and a child in the mall and they tell them they can't get something and they sort of roll around the ground and scream and thing? I always believe that was something that you was never paying attention to.
Yeah,
and you just keep leaving it,
like
leaving
I
it,
was-
leaving it. You didn't nip it anybody. And that is one of the things that I used to do with my son. I used to nip them things in but immediately. I don't care how young he is. If I tell you no is no, you can sit down there and cry from now till all your tears come out. It's not happening. I just not doing it. But again, everybody different. That was me. That was my parenting. Somebody else, and I can't even say that they are allowing the kids to get away with that. It's bad parenting. That could be they looking at it like, oh God, I love them. They ain't really do nothing serious.
But
You know what I'm
concerning
saying?
that, specifically that, I saw this video of this woman, and she had a son, and he was autistic. And they went to the mall, and she Trinidadian. They went to the mall, and he real like this the store that had the blocks and thing, and it was time to leave, and they was closing actually, and he was so distraught. He started to throw a tantrum, and all these parents just looking at her like she was a bad mother, and she feel real bad because she's saying, my child is just autistic. He love blocks. He don't want it to close. He could play forever. And I mean, I don't think it makes her a bad parent that her child threw a tantrum. I think he just autistic. And the fact that she was getting that judgment because of it was real sad. And I real feel for her the way she was speaking. Because you could tell she loved her son and you could tell she's do everything for him. And I mean, obviously she gets it under control eventually. But, sometimes things like that can happen.
She autistic as well, and she would have trip outs, real serious trip outs till she lose her voice, trip outs till police come for me, trip outs, real bad, real bad. So I understand, but the thing with her, luckily for me, she never trip out
fell
on the
on the
road or anything like that. But
Yeah.
she would always, and for little things, like when she get overstimulated, for little things, she would just have to trip out, pull out everything out her hair, pick up. It never happened in the road.
And the sad
Praise
thing
the
with
Lord.
that as well, it things like that has never stopped. I mean, I am just an adult and I have emotional regulation, but I was still coming from a long day and I need to take off all my clothes. I need to take off everything in my hair. Everything needs to be off. I'm overstimulated. I need to just sit in a corner and just breathe and regulate myself, you know?
Right.
And cry sometimes. Like these things that your kids display when they are kids, even if you suppress it in them, you nip it in the bud, it doesn't go away. I think the best thing is to teach them how to properly go about feeling like that, you know?
What I'm trying to figure out is that is it really a parent's influence that dictates the child upbringing? So I try to understand you could be the best parent, the good parent, and say you're the most rebellious child born Satan, right?
Yeah.
So I will find out. You think you still have a way as a parent to nip things in the butt and make sure that child grow up correct? Or no matter what, it might still have that outcome. You think it's really parent could do that much to influence the children? Or some people just
I would
born to
say-
create chaos?
I would say for me, it it always have another way. My thing is this, right? If I can show you another way that we could have a better outcome, yeah, it might help change you. You understand what I'm saying?
And that's actually a really good point. Because
Yeah.
I feel like children are seeds. And I mean, you have tomato plant, pimento plant, you have different plants, right? And you have different seeds. But the way in nature the seed is it will contribute to how the fruit come out, you know? And it could be bad or it could be good. You could take the energy and let them channel it into something beneficial to them. Or they could take the energy and mash up the house. You know? It really takes, like, you have to take that time and that effort to reach them in a way that is beneficial, you know?
Because for like that situation where you're saying there, it might take you to listen more than to talk. So let me say I come and I use my son and I come and I tell you, ding, and then I'll half an hour come. I say, I don't tell you that son. Where's Troop? So talk to me. That you might get. Now he being heard now.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Rather than, most parents is, I don't want to hear nothing, I in charge, I see boss here, close the fridge, fuck
Create
you.
my
Yeah,
rebel.
yeah. They don't want to hear nothing. Them paying the bills, you don't have a say. Right? You don't have a say over your skin. So when you grow them up like that, right? To me, you creating a problem. So with my son again, I always give him the option to speak his mind, talk, but he had to understand certain things. Yes, his foundation, but don't disrespect me. Although me and his mother was never good, don't disrespect your mother. Them kind of foundation, yes, please, thanks, be a gentleman, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, yes, we fall out. But after a while, I will come and ask him, yo, where's he seeing? Why you felt like that thing? So now they're being heard rather than I just saying, I in charge. That is it. I don't care how you feel, you have to do that.
Yeah, it's real easy to forget that family dynamics are relationships too. You have a relationship with your parents, with your kids, with your siblings, and the same way you have relationships with your friends, and you have to nurture it, you have to respect it, you have to put the effort into it that you would in a friend, and that's really how you keep your family close. You gotta get them that respect.
My mom
So
would
parent
say,
can have a major role. General
my mom would say with
consensus.
stubborn children, as you would say, stubborn, naughty. And there was a word I was using. Anyway.
Naughty.
Satanic.
Naughty.
But what she would say is it must have something that is their passion. If you find that child's passion and the channel that fire towards that, all naughty done. All
Like when
stubborn
they,
done.
when they take
whatever.
the worst child in the class, the naughtiest child in the class, and make them a prefect. And bet your bottom dollar is the best prefect in that class.
Make you bully the prefect.
What about the next one? Different perspectives in parenting based on the same relationship. For example, and it happens a lot. You with your child mother, I with your child mother, you with your child father, and probably parenting was never discussed, child born, And your idea of being a good father is not the idea she has in her head of what a good father should be. You understand? So now you are not a good father because you are not what she expects you to be. But in your mind,
Yeah.
you are a good father because you doing to be as a good
Yeah.
father. And that is break up a lot of relationships. Because as a child come and entitlement kick in and what they think you should do compared to what you think you should do and vice versa, just create problems all the time.
Well, the most important thing in any relationship is communication. Even if you didn't talk about childcare and parenting prior to having the child and the child come, yes, you need to have the emotional intelligence to sit down and say, hey, this is my expectations of a parent, and this is what I think we should do in this co-parenting relationship. But I mean, not a lot of people have that capacity to really sit down and have conversations like that.
But let me speak on that a little bit. Doi. If Shaka and I have a child together, right? We didn't plan for this child. The child comes, and for some reason, right? We 21 to 25, so we're still young basically, and we separate, right? I think there's only one thing that could make things go fine, right? Don't tell me how to be a father, and I wouldn't tell you how to be a mother. That's it.
Yeah.
Because I will expect you would love our son, and I would love our son. Don't try to tell me how to love our son, and I wouldn't try to tell you how to love our son. Simple.
Correct. And then
And that's it.
sometimes gender roles is kicking. Because he's the dad, you have to do this. Because he's mommy, you do this. I do have to be so. Our relationships are different. That's why it's called relationships. You
But at
understand?
the same time, with that perspective, right? It almost as if you're putting the child in the middle of the situation. If you, as the adults, can't come to a common ground, can't communicate with each other, and you holding a corner, she holding she corner, right? Then the child in the middle of it, you know.
No, I don't think it's a matter of holding it. It's not a matter of holding a corner. It come like this, right? And I've been in these situations. When the child by me, you're calling every minute. Oh, hey, that's my son. I not going to pay me no harms. When he's by you, I don't call you. Because I expect you to take care of our son.
Yeah.
Why when he by me now, you have to be calling like you
Or
security.
worried
I
or
could
this
play
and
devil's
that.
advocate
Right?
But
because I've been in a situation where she would go by her dad and I'm uncomfortable. But I think women have a belief in their mind that we could take care of children much better than men, and like men don't know what they're doing. So you will have that fear. Oh, good, I wonder if he feed my son. I wonder if my son bathe. Like you don't mean it to know. It's just like a nerve, a anxiety that you have. So I could understand it that way. But I understand what you're saying too. But the feeling is there's feelings behind it. There's emotions behind it. We
and
believe we better.
that goes
honestly.
back to the same perspective, yeah? If me and you have a child, for example, and
A real children,
yeah, your belief is the child should eat 3 square meals. Or there should be triangular meals because it's 3. But we'll jump to that next time.
Next year.
And I believe probably 1 meal a day is sufficient. One good balanced diet, right? So that is a problem one time. Because it's
Correct.
different perspective, same child. That's what I'm saying. So you always have a clash. Eh? Now we talk about
No.
the age
Yeah,
of
in a
compatibility.
way,
Yet.
yeah,
say
true.
say a young child, 3 years, 4 years. Yeah. You understand? So
Yeah,
that's it. You
yeah.
always have a clash in perspective, and one go think they doing the right thing, and the next two think they doing the right thing. The same thing if I was a vegan and she's a meat eater. I decide not to get the child meat, and she said, no, the child need meat, and it could be a problem. It can't
Yeah.
be. Simple as that.
Look at
That's
you.
what I said.
As you touch on that, when she born, she was vegan. This girl didn't want nothing meat. If you feed her, she's pulling it out her mouth. And I believed at that stage in her life that she needed the protein. And mind you, I do eat meat, but I feed it to her. And I did feel so guilty for that. I was like, Sarah, I should have left you vegan. Why did I do that? Whenever they're young and you're dotish and people telling you, yeah, they get child meat, not like you, feed the child. When you feed, you go blow away. How can I ship on it? But if I did listen to myself, both of us would have been happily vegan. No.
I
No,
just-
I'm alone.
I mean, I want to agree with Sarah, but I believe that when you try to get involved in how the other person doing things, you could have a general template, that's fine. But when you try to get involved and tell a person how to do
To this,
their father, that is when you're putting the child in the middle.
I mean, honestly, once the child needs met adequately, then it should be fine. Like, I mean, I understand if you do specific things with the child and you would want him or he want you to do specific, whatever, right? At the end of the day, the child eat, the child bathe, the child sleep, we good. Yeah, it makes no sense trying to control everything. And I think that could also be a detriment to their co-parenting relationship in the first place.
I have a question. I'll ask mommy this. Who are all the children, right? I'm gonna say this slowly. Why when, right, young ladies with children, why when they get vexed, it has become my child? Why
Because we feel like we
does
do the
that?
most work. You see, after the labor, you feel like it's your child. Literally,
Right.
after she born, I felt like it was just she and I in this world, and nobody
Okay.
else existed. I don't know what is going with the mental postpartum depression, call it whatever, but it is be your
Entitlement.
child. Because the kind of pain, trust me, that kind of pain, That's why I have one.
And that is one reason entitlement is kicking. And now it's their child. They want to do this, they want to do that, to do this, to do that. They know all the best methods, all the thing. And they probably have first parent like you too, yeah? And they will tell you how to do everything with the same child. And it's always about perspective.
Yeah, I think once I understand what you're saying because the body change and the everything is definitely takes a toll. Yeah. Yeah.
But then again, right, part of it is the father's role in it. Like we say, is a couple, they together, right? You pregnant, the man's supposed to be taking care of you. You making sure you're fed, making sure you're good. The birthing process, he should be there holding your hand every step. The child born, he active in that father role. I mean, you carry the child. When the child born, he had to pick up the majority of the mantle while you recovering. And I think it's there where the trust should build. All right, I know you're good with the child. You know what to do. You know you are a parent.
That is a perspective as well. That is a perspective as well.
I
Even
mean-
in the animal kingdom, the cats is make, the men is dive away. Dog, they make, the dogs go away. The woman always by your own raising, nurturing by your own. Not saying it should be so, but showing how it reflected in the animal kingdom all about, right? So women are fully capable of being independent and raising a child. Not saying they should. Understand? But because they're feeling this guilt or they're feeling that the man should not be involved and take, it's create that same perspective where they think that now I make the child, you are do all this and do all that, I make the child. And that in itself could create problems, in my opinion.
But it again is a conversation while you're pregnant. You need to have with your partner. What are the expectations when this child come? Because at the end of the day, if you want me to trust you with the child, I need to know I can trust you with the child, and I just go and hand you my newborn. I pop out and and trust you with that. I need to know verbatim you can handle this
And
child.
I would disagree still. Because you sleep with the man, you trust him. The man impregnate you. You have to trust
Because
him.
I know
You have no
but
if,
It's the
there.
mind. It's something that's go wrong
Yeah.
with
I'm
the
telling you,
mind.
it's a social shock or something.
yeah. Because
be.
it come like because it and I will go back to because I hear all earlier and don't get us wrong. It have plenty stupid man out there.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yes.
I have heard men who tell me they never change a child diapers. I can't say that bad, right? I just wanted to experience it. Other men will be saying, no, I mean, touching no shit, right? Everybody different. What I'm saying is this. If you know that man or that woman is supposed to love, because that is all your child, in, right? She couldn't do that without him, right? Vice versa. So I am not going to put, obviously, if I see something happening, I'm going to discuss it. Yo, Shaki, I find you're out late, you have your aunt smoking on each other. Where's that on? You know what I mean? Different situations like that. And if we're not mending it, then I could see things taking place. But at the end of the day, if that is the child's father, understanding that there are crazy women and there are crazy men out there who just treat the children like tutu, I am supposed to trust that that person would love the child enough to take care of them in their own way. Now. That is all I saying.
Logic.
Yeah.
You should expect that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But again, notwithstanding, it's
I
a
just-
plenty stupid people out there.
I just always use the example as well. This example. If you go back to prehistoric times, the Roman Empire, Vikings, anyway, the men used to make children. Sometimes them go out on the ship at sea for months, probably years. They ain't seen the kids for months, right? The man not in the child life, but they still have a father relationship. The man doing what he do, fighting wars, bringing no.
Yeah.
In this day, I think, my opinion, everybody set up to have a two woman in a household, two mother. That is the vibes I get. Like the woman being the mother and the man have to be the mother too, or she being mother roles. I ain't saying it's a problem. Relationship is relationship. It's what you accept. But it have some men would be willing to go out there and put in the hard work, do the, due diligence,
yeah.
whatever, and provide and set an example for the kid and don't need to be in the kid life 24/0 every day, every week. Well, assuming they live in the same household, right?
Assuming.
Stuff like that. So what I'm saying is that it's really a matter of perspective and what the man think and what the woman think a good parent should be. And that is something, as I rightfully said, should be discussed and properly communicated before sex even start raw.
Yeah. Because that was a question, right? That's a question that come in my head. You have a child with a dude, right? For that child, most of that child life, the dude come around once or twice, 3 times. Right? But you didn't know that man working hard for that youth. Something end up happening to him, you get $200 million. But the fact that he wasn't there, that made him a bad father? Or
It
the
made
fact
him
that,
an absent father.
right, but bad because he still provided for his child. The money was for the
Did
child.
one, he did half of it.
But
But he wasn't
is
there.
money more important than emotional connection?
No, and that
No,
was
it's-
That's the
she-
question.
She said absent earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
Absent in this times is relative compared to the Vikings times. In them times, all them used to be absent. All the men was absent.
Yeah.
So then in that time, we would say he was absent, or is it it's nowadays?
He was
how
working
we
on a rig.
Still
program?
absent.
He working on a rig.
He programmed.
He can't come back. You know what I mean?
And that where the whole structure come from. Back in the days, the men used to go out and work, get the money and thing, and the woman nurture and provide and stay with the children. That way come from, and that way get the gender roles. Now we don't have that.
at
But
the
we
same
still do
time-
the same thing. Because back in the days, you can understand why you have gender roles. Because the men were the workers and the woman were the nurturers. So woman was doing this and men were doing that. And men
except-
being absent was part of the gender roles.
But I had
No-
two things when it comes to that dynamic. The first one is invisible labor. Being a housewife is a full-time job. And in those times, it wasn't seen as a job. It really and truly is because you pay people, you pay a nanny, you pay a maid. That's jobs, right? And now, back then, women couldn't work. Women were not allowed to work. It was illegal. Now, you have a situation where women could work. And also back then, you had more community than you have now. Now you have people, I can't trust nobody, I had to hustle every day. That's the rhetoric that's happening now. So not obviously, but understandably, those roles will change. It will share. It's 50-50 now. Women working, men working. So it's understandable you're going to share the labor, you're going to share the child rearing. And again, it's a conversation. You could choose, all right, well, you making enough money, you grinding, I could be a housewife. I want to be a housewife. And then you could also have a situation. I want to work, and I think we had to share this 50-50. So conversations are important.
Communication, and which I agree with. And that's the problem, I think. Most people don't take time to communicate how to go about parenting.
Also pressured by social norms. But
And
social norms may
also
not work for you.
influence family and stuff as well.
So who knows? Maybe your wife could be a genius and she have a well-paying tech job and you don't really want to work. Like you rather stay home. So the dynamic could shift and it shouldn't have shame in men who prefer to be in that quote-unquote feminine role and take care of the kids, clean the house, and the woman take on the quote-unquote masculine role.
I could be a
And
house
get money.
husband any day.
Exactly.
see,
It have men who want to be house
I
husbands.
clean everything. I home.
be fair, right?
Every day the house big spanking.
To be fair, you brought up you brought up something there, and it's right. But to me, the fear of being a house husband is you studying people. If I, with my girl who we have a child together and she's bringing in all the money, once I'm not studying outside people, that shouldn't be a problem for me. That is my life.
Yeah.
We doing this shit here.
And also, we had to remember that now we have a lot of jobs that moving away from manual labor and man labor and going more into tech, more into things you could do behind a computer and things that you don't need actual strength for. So that's why I have an equal situation where women can make more money and the same money as men. And most times when women tend to go towards a field, men fly from it. You see women being in fashion, in as teachers. You know, women have more of the jobs now and more of the high paying jobs. It's in the statistics.
And not to bring on next topic, this is why I could have agreed to marriages in those times, prehistoric times, compared to now, right? Not saying I do believe in marriage in terms of getting the government involved, right? But in them time, you as a worker and the woman as a housewife, and what you're giving the woman is basically you're giving her nothing, right? She's more nurturing. So when you do marry her, it is only right for her to get half, right? Because she was robbed of her career, you could say, all that, right? I could perfectly understand that in that time, right?
Why it had to be government.
Yeah, in this day and age where women probably more independent than men or doing the same. I don't believe in the, you know what I'm saying?
Everybody signing prenups.
Yeah. But in prehistoric days, when a woman was robbed of a career or even think she had to nurture, she had to be a housewife and thing, it's only fair she get, you know?
Yeah.
And then the sad part about it too is back in those times you had a lot of things prevalent like financial abuse. And abuse don't just have to be hitting. It could be not letting her get things that she need or, you know, making her feel bad for needing money when she literally need it. You are the breadwinner, you know, or just taking it as a reason to be controlling or just mean.
And that's a problem. Eh? Plenty men like to use power as control. Plenty men are just naturally controlling, I think. Plenty men. And the same for women, yeah? I think that's why plenty men won't sign up to be a house husband.
Because they think they'll face the same.
They lack independence and they feel like they have...
Yeah. Talk to me.
She can rule me. She can do what she want. And I can't say nothing.
Especially as it's seen that men supposed to be social norm, the breadwinners and the providers.
And then as you all talk about marriage is a great thing, you know. I think people just corrupting it now because now marriage becoming a hustle. You know, people getting married to people just to get money, divorce it 2 months after.
It's a scheme now. It's a scheme.
Using the laws.
Married for citizenship.
Yeah, all entrepreneurs.
Yeah. But...
And that's why I say, I would get married, you know. I just not getting the government involved in my marriage. I rather sign a legal contract between me and you by an attorney with our conditions than tell the government tell me what to do in my relationship. You understand? I can have a wedding and everything, but I'm not going to Red House.
And then honestly, a lot of things impersonal now as opposed to then everything on social media, everybody involved in your life. Some people know more about your wife than you, you know.
Influence.
And then, anyway.
So it goes sometimes.
We're going to do a quick little yay or nay when it comes to family ties, right? So I'll make a statement or you'll say nay or yay. We good? Testing 1, 2.
Yes.
Letting my family member live by me for more than 2 weeks. Yay or nay?
Yeah.
Depends.
Depends on the circumstances.
Yeah, like
I gotta choose, bro.
you just show up, drop your bags, eat out my fridge.
You choose to work or you choose to get employed or choose to do better and you will come at me cause a cut. Nah, bro. If there's an emergency and your house burned down or some kind of, you know, yeah.
If you just decide you want all the food in my fridge.
Yeah.
Them just, Shaki, them just throwing one set of options.
I would say yeah.
Because it depends.
No, it depends.
Telling your cousin the child bad. Yeah or nay?
Yeah.
Bad and like what?
You see, boy.
What do you mean by bad?
That's subjective.
Like if they did do something bad?
Yeah, I would say, but I would say in my opinion, I'll make sure express I think that the child is a bad child.
I mean, I wouldn't just come and say a child is the spawn of Satan, but I could be like, hey.
I go tell you in a question. So you didn't know your child bad?
Nah, I could just say, nah, yeah, that's send them in counseling or
Figure that
something.
shit out.
Me
Yeah.
personally, I'm very blunt.
I would
have
give
no problem
solutions.
there, you know?
I wouldn't just give the
Your child back.
problem.
No problem. But you can say with more compassion. It's a child. It's not a child's fault.
Yeah, you know, I think
If it's my cousin, I will love my cousin and the cousinling. So it wouldn't be, you know,
yeah, like it needs some training.
you can't go out with that attitude, you know. So I know what your mother doing.
And I would talk to the child first as well.
Yeah.
Lending your brother or sister money without a plan of getting it back. Yeah or nay?
How much money?
Cheese and natures.
I
would learn, but it won't be a
Significant
yeah.
amount.
Yeah. It won't be a frequent occurrence neither.
yeah,
Because then you're spoiling.
yeah.
According to the individual, if I know you will pay me back, I will lend you. But if I know you would not pay me back, like we have that record, I will say, here, what? I cannot lend you anything because I need this money, but I could give you a 20. Hold that. Find somebody.
20, you know.
Yeah.
No, just as an example.
Yeah.
Say,
correct.
Two doubles and a couple.
No, but I mean,
You can't get dates out of that.
lend.
It's a
Am I
reference.
lending or am I giving?
You
Yeah,
lending.
differentiate.
Yeah, exactly.
differentiate.
Yeah, the
And
differentiate.
say, then I say, sometimes I lend people money with no intention of getting it back because of the relationship sometimes.
Yeah.
But principle is principle. Give me it back and let me tell you now, whole lot. No, keep
Yeah,
it now.
yeah, it's alright.
Maybe I attempt to give it back, you know?
At least try.
I think that's with everybody.
No, you're not going to give me it back. I go and let you know, you're not going to give me it back, but I could spare 50, hold that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not lending you nothing because I need my money.
Yeah, especially if it's a sibling, I don't think I get that back. So once it's an amount I'm okay with giving, I'll be like, whatever, fine. I will lend you.
Cutting off a toxic parent. Yeah or
Yeah.
nay?
Yeah.
Protect your peace.
But cut off is such a strong term. It kind of triggering. I would not cut off my parents.
Probably distant.
I will love them from far.
Yeah,
You know, I will love them from far. And I will try to see what healing can happen. You know, it's not just a look off and forget about you.
Yeah,
Let me see how we can do better.
that is my approach, I think.
Yes.
I wouldn't cut off. I'll probably distant to protect my energy, protect my peace and everything, and stay try and help from a distance.
I'd
If I could.
remove myself from the situation, no love lost, and most likely just forget about them eventually.
You had a family member that you don't really talk, you never really used to talk to, and they passed away. Going to funeral, yeah or nay?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, because funeral is a lime.
yeah, exactly. Food cooking, everybody there.
Free food you get to see
Hey,
cousins from
Aisha,
away. And I
nice
might bring
spot
some
going
for
on
you.
Burong
Okay.
in the reception. And I'm going to wake too.
Really
Who'd
go-
have to cook?
Really going through other people in it.
Yeah, things-
If I don't know him, no, I am being honest. You know. If I don't really know you, I have no emotional attachment to you. I am not going for you. I'm going for the people that there.
And I mean, not just that, even if I don't know the cousin, I would know the family that grieving the cousin. So, I mean, you can still go in support, yeah.
Personally, I don't go funeral if I don't have the emotional attachment. I find it's being fake.
Yeah, that's fair.
Me and you was never that good. You did. Me was never that good. I mean, you did. I pop in funeral like me and you's friends from a long time, you know?
Except my condolences.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to the funeral for them. I would go to support my family. Like, if mommy know them and I know them and she crying,
Well, let
I'll
me
go
tell
to
you
support her, you know?
I understand.
This 2025, people calling you out there. What you doing here? You never did like it? Yeah. You see the other day when my old schoolmate was burying and he two child brothers had a fight to the wedding. When one go to touch him, she slapped his hand. Oh, be careful out there. Right?
Nah, the man dead, the wife
coulda
crying,
watched-
and the other woman
You
walking.
could have watched the thing on YouTube and thing your condolences.
Watch
from
the
there.
live stream.
Yeah.
family, I being honest, I will go for the lime. But if it's like a friend of a friend out, no.
But if it's family and I go even self, I
Hey,
know we have no beef.
we have
You
to-
can't watch me and say, what you doing there?
We have to invite Shaka out more because I feel she don't get out.
By choice.
Yeah. Right? I'm helping out family members who don't help you out. Yeah.
What
or
kind of
nah?
help?
Is according.
Jesus Christ. Only technical.
Yeah, I go help. But I say, my help will be creating opportunities or giving
Yeah.
advice or knowledge or wisdom or something.
Yeah.
I don't look for nothing in return. When I
According
give
to
them.
how bad they need the help. Because some of them think they need it and they don't. It's according. It's really according to the situation.
I think it's the same thing like with the money. I would give the help that I don't need to be returned to me, you know?
I will help you with advice.
The best help
Words
ever.
of wisdom. You know what I mean?
Once the help is not something I ain't go miss, you know?
Okay.
You can have it. If I could give you it, you can have it, basically.
Still, you ain't taking from a cup.
But if you had a full cup, you're a billionaire, things would have changed.
To me, help is more, but as a billionaire, will be more humanitarian. I will more want to see all the children in Africa fed. I will want to fix Haiti, like that kind of stuff.
But it's the same thing, like where you say with opportunities, I not just going and hand you $1 million in your hand because I was a billionaire. No, I probably have some business. I probably have access to things that you don't. I will give you that.
Opportunities.
If you need to go back to school, I will allow you.
Yeah.
If you need a job, I will see what I could do.
I
You
agree,
know?
opportunities.
But I say for me, I may give it $1 million, but I will make it very clear that this is your last $1 million. Need to make this work. We need to see some kind of profit from this. We need to see you go to school, pass people subjects, wherever the situation is. I need to let you know that after this, you need to lose my number, right?
You put it in a trust.
Yeah.
it could be a
Yeah.
trust. I'm not going to
Yeah.
say that.
Trust on
If
it.
you tell me you want money to go back to college to study, what I will pay for the course.
Yeah, set up a trust.
I'll pay for the course. I'm not going to give you the money.
No, but it's the same thing. Like, I will help you help yourself. Because that's more important.
You get any money, though. Say, look, me going to do that course again, huh?
Yeah, I go and spend
exactly,
that.
I go and buy a car.
No,
No. I will pay for
I
the
want a
course.
house.
That is okay. So that is why I stated, whatever you do with the money, it's cool.
It will come back. That's the thing.
But when they come back and they know, it's no. Because we had this conversation, right?
But for me, I don't want to go through that, you know? I won't go through that. You don't have to come back.
Lying to protect a family member from jail, yay or nay? Here we go and ask, eh? It depends on who.
No, it depends on the crime.
Nay.
Like the same thing you were saying, right?
Back against the wall, I sell you out.
If you kill your daughter rapist, I back in you 100%. I'm not selling you out, never. But if you's the rapist, I is the first one in the police station. You know, so it depends on the crime.
So if I kill a rapist and then rape,
Then what you kill him for? Better you kill yourself.
true. Telling the truth at a family gathering.
But that's me, yeah.
What do you mean
Drama.
telling the truth? Like secrets?
You see this smack
Love to
already?
stir the pot.
This smack, who make this?
That's me, yeah.
That too much salt.
Me a lying?
Nah, not me now, but I'm grateful still. Times I free food. I appreciate this.
Food tastes good, eh? I just raised my pressure a little bit.
Being the,
That's not you. Let me don't go down that road.
being the peacemaker in the family drama.
I rather eat popcorn and watch.
Yeah, dynamite job.
That is me.
No, but I'm a very good mediator, to be fair. If I see an opportunity to mediate, well, fed up all, yeah, I'll do it. But if it's entertainment, it's entertainment.
Two man fighting and I'm running in the middle. This is not you. I'm not going through that. I'm not going through that.
I about peace, dog.
Watch now.
If I let a fight, I let a fight.
Dingo be in our family life. First I know him, right? And somebody completely he bowled. Yeah, right, yeah, right. I try good. Yeah, right.
Instigating right through.
No, he didn't get that's good. That's still good. Yeah, but yeah.
I don't get caught up so easily. If you reach down to the iniquities where you have balance and thing, probably.
Right. And last but not least, choosing peace over attending a family line.
Yeah.
Or nay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I will always choose my peace.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because we actively done this.
Yeah.
Not softly with your song.
Yeah, I
we
mean,
actively done this.
protecting your peace. Like, I don't want to be in that vibes.
Family, you know, you had the bacchanal side or you had the side that don't really like it too much. You know, families have its dynamic. So if it's the side that don't really like it too much and they only inviting you for protocol, it's like, No, I don't like. I not. No.
So what if the lie is an opportunity to resolve the issues at hand?
So you have to know who you're dealing with. Clearly,
And it depends if you
looking for
want
that
to resolve
opportunity.
it.
We're looking for that opportunity to resolve
you
long
think
time.
family issues can't be resolved?
It can, but both parties
Yeah.
have to be willing.
If both parties not willing, it will be.
Yeah, it can't start off. Well, here you come to say wrong.
Yeah.
Come to apologize.
Yeah, but then again, at some time, somebody has to be the bigger man and just put ego out the door or something and say, yeah, but I was wrong.
Or you
Even
can
though
put
they
ego on
ain't
the door
wrong.
and just
They
keep
even though they
away.
ain't wrong. But then they ain't
That's
fixing it,
true.
solve any problem.
But I still think that the bigger, like being the bigger person and just putting aside their feelings and just say, all right, yeah, I was wrong, and they don't take accountability for what they do, they'll just do it again.
No, it's not about, see, you can say you was wrong to get the ball rolling and then have further discussions. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, in that way,
But
for
if-
sure.
yeah.
I will say what I was wrong for, but I am not going to take no blame for what I will say what I was wrong for, because obviously you have a part to play. If we button heads, we both have a part to play.
But at
I
the end
can
of the
take
day,
accountability from my side.
if you tell me, oh, you could come if you want, or if you tell me, yeah, I want you to come, that's two different things. I ain't coming with no last minute invite. You did not want me there.
As I mentioned that, I always say, apologizing easy, you know. You just have to know what to apologize for. Like, for example, if I do something to hurt somebody and I'm not sorry about it, I see no wrong in it, I go to apologize the way you feel about the situation, but I don't apologize for me being me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So apologizing really easy, you know. It's very easy and it can solve a lot of problems. What's it specify what you're apologizing for?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I didn't mean to say it like that, but I say it.
Yeah.
No, but
I
even
apologize
if-
how you felt about it.
Yeah,
You understand?
exactly. Like, I'm not sorry for what I said, but I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings.
Because I mean, that sometimes they can't be sorry for you being you or you being
Yeah.
truthful or you
Exactly.
being, you know.
Or you can say sorry, can I tell you the truth?
Yeah.
I
you
ain't
know?
sorry for that.
That way to, I mean, that way to say things,
don't like
but
to take
at some time,
accountability.
Yeah. You can apologize for your delivery.
I take accountability and you see them in the cycle, not coming out, just going around, bring around the rosy. And it's like, oh, I can tell this person they're just running around this bush.
And that's part of
And that's the
of-
hard part, trying to find out.
I
They
know
will take it
somebody,
in.
but I know people who are not accountable. But it's in everyday language is hate. Somebody missed the flight, they will say the car was late, it was traffic, all kind of stuff. It will never be them
It's never
wake up
them.
late or they cater for half an hour delay, you know what I mean? You see it every day now. They can somebody talk a little bit and know how accountable they are, genuinely. They will blame everything for wherever,
But
and never
themselves.
themselves. They will blame traffic, they will blame people, they will blame places.
I take
Yeah.
I know somebody that
I-
horned the man,
Mm.
right? And one of the men friends tell the man, well, this person horning you, whatever. She vexed with the friend for telling the man and not taking accountability that you was actually wrong. You horning your man. But you so mad at he's the wrong one. Because you sell me out.
How
No,
dare
well-
you?
How you not
say the
seeing that?
truth?
How you not seeing that you wrong?
I
It's so
say,
bad. It's
we
so bad.
living in a society now where you buy a hammer and they go home and they kill your wife. They blaming the hardware for selling the hammer, right? That is the society we live in. Nobody, right, takes accountability. You get fooled on Facebook. I'm going to blame Facebook for allowing somebody to fool you. You get fooled, bro.
Yeah.
Right? You get a text telling you to put in a username and you just gullible. But they're blaming Facebook. They're blaming AI.
They blame everything.
Right? Keanu Reeves contact you on WhatsApp and tell you he like you and he love you and you want money and you fall for that. So people like to blame and don't take accountability for this shit. It is what it is, right?
Because
In some instances,
I
it would
just-
not be.
I just travel a lot, and I always go to the airport at least 2-3 hours before. That was say you as a responsible person should cater for the worst traffic.
Yeah.
That will never miss a flight.
You
That
should
just not a bus or
invest the
taxi, you know. You should
Because
cater for the
people who
worst
just
traffic.
really-
You never know
who
what
just
happen,
people
and that's
who-
a reality.
People who travel a lot,
We know that.
they cater for the time they reach in the airport, the distance from wherever they is
Yeah,
to the airport,
is here.
everything. Yeah.
Because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You can have accident.
And that's why there's always to leave early because you never know. You don't control the road, eh?
Yeah, that
You
is
know what I
a
mean? Like when
control.
people, like if I'm married when they calling me, where rich boy? I say, I am not the only car on the road, you know. I wish that I could have do the Bruce Almighty, you know. But unfortunately, I can't do that. I'm not the only can do it.
Yeah.
And airplane mode malfunctioning now.
Yeah, I expect anything.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
But then
So,
I think like if someone don't hold themselves accountable, or if they just happen to have a bad morning.
yeah, well, it happens, but there are a lot of people don't prepare themselves to. They don't do it. They don't
Fair
do
enough.
it. They don't do it. They don't prep themselves at all.
You don't travel often and you didn't know and the traffic keep you back. That's not your fault.
Well, then, I don't take no chance. If I have an interview, I rather reach 3 hours before and wait.
Better to be early.
Early than late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rather than say, nah, man, are you going to reach Jungle now?
Bam, something happen.
And then-
Roadblock.
And then hear the next thing. When you fall into that roadblock now, understanding that you just might reach late, even though you still reach on time, your whole vibe now different. You're not
You're
prepared.
hustling,
Yeah.
You're
rushing,
hustling, you're rushing. So when you could just go early and just,
It's a mental piece.
yeah.
And then I mean, if you plan to be early and it happen to be late, you'll be on time.
Exactly.
True. All right, we had a very good conversation tonight, I must say. So, we'll do this again very soon
Yeah.
because I want to discuss something, right? And I hope we get some ladies here again. The difference between a reason and a justification. It have a difference? Hold that thought for the next show. Because I want to fight wild with that. Real wild. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Parallel Podcast 868. I am Prez. I am Prez for the slow ones. Alongside the gaudy alchemist himself. Tell the people and them something before you go.
Yabba-dabba-doo. That you correct him, right? Yabba-dabba-doo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Translating to what?
I don't know. I think there is some kind of Cape language. I just search it up.
And of course, we had the lady with all the kids, Shaka, touching us this night.
The old lady that lives in the shoe.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Your name have a fumbling. Right? And she brought her beautiful daughter to chill with us here tonight, Sarah.
Yeah.
Big up you. Right? We go fix the mic better for she and time, man. Right?
Break him for back.
Nah, we'll be all right. Right? So, this has been Parallel Podcast 868. And we are out. We just play a song for the ladies who vex law. See what I mean?
Man, fuck all you hoes.
That's not a song.
Right?
Thank you for watching Parallel Podcast 868. Please be advised that the opinions and views expressed by our guests are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the show or its hosts. Viewer discretion is advised. We appreciate your support and look forward to bringing you more insightful content.